Hey there, I'm back again with another video, and it's a beautiful day out here. The sun is just about to set, and I wanted to shoot a video talking about the 3 tips through which you can invite influential guests on your podcast. This is a question that I get a lot in my DMs, and today I wanted to make a video to answer that question. So, when you're building your personal brand, and if you already have a podcast or you're thinking of starting one, then the success of your podcast, it comes down to 2 main factors. And the first thing is how interesting your guests are. The second thing is what is the content that they are discussing, because in the initial days people don't know you, and when they're tuning into your podcast, either your guest has to be interesting or they have to talk about something that's interesting. Eventually they will build an emotional connection with you, so they'll tune in to listen to you. But until then, you really have to make sure that your guests are interesting, and you pick out topics out there which are very relatable and which people actually want to listen to. So what are the 3 tips that can help in inviting influential guests to your podcast? The first one is write it down. Now, this is a common tip that I give in all my videos, and don't get me wrong, because every time you write something down, it's going to add a level of clarity to your thoughts rather than just a mess in your head. So I would recommend that you have a guest list where the people that you follow or the people that you listen to, or every time that you're scrolling your social media, if you come across an interesting person who has same set of values as you or is talking about the same set of topics that you are interested in, then you have to note them down. You have to note their name down so you can follow them closely, and you can assess whether you really want to invite them, and then formulate a plan around it. So having a guest list, guest list, I would say, is very, very important. So that's the first tip. And the second tip that I would give you is don't be in a rush to invite the other person. So once you've decided that you want to invite this person on your show, don't be in a rush to invite them. You have to take some time, and with enough patience, you have to follow their journey. So read about the articles that they share, read about the posts that they share, read about what they're interested in. If you want, take some notes on the different topics that they talked about, or the different articles that they shared, the videos that they shared that resonated with you. Note down very specific points that resonated with you, that you can share with them when you talk to them. And that is very, very important, because you cannot just randomly reach out to someone, especially people who are already established in their field, and you cannot randomly reach out to them without any research. So your research has to be on point, and for that you have to take at least 3 to 4 days to understand what they're sharing, what they're talking about, stalk them as much as you can, and get a hang of what does this person like, what are their pain points, what are the things that they absolutely hate, and then you can approach them in an efficient way, and they would want to listen to you. So that's the second tip. And the third tip is cold emailing. Now, most of the guests I have on my podcast, I invite them through 3 main channels. The first one is I personally connect with them on LinkedIn, and those are always personalized invites where I personally tailor my messages to understand what they're interested in and how I can help them. So it's always about how I can help rather than what this person can do to you. So that's how I send personalized invites, and if they accept it, well and good, we can take it forward, talk about how they can be a part of my show. And the second thing that I do is, the second channel that I use is I follow this person very closely on Insta if they are active on it, because a lot of times influential people have these ask me anythings. They host live sessions, they host ask me anythings, and over there, that is your opportunity to first express your interest in inviting them to their show. So when I interviewed Varun Duggi, who is one of the leading podcasters of India, he was hosting an Ask Me Anything on Insta, and that's what I did. I messaged him talking about why I wanted him on my show and how it would benefit my audience, and that's how he had some slots for external interviews. I got a slot. So that's another thing. And the third channel through which I do that is cold emailing. So every time that I cold email someone, I cold emailed Ankur Warikoo, who got a reply. Unfortunately, he didn't have a time slot at the time, but I was happy to have received a reply. So every time that you cold message someone, make sure that it is a very well researched message. It's concise because they're not going to read paragraphs and paragraphs about why you want them on your show, but talk more about how you can offer to help. So maybe they are constantly creating videos that you can edit for them, and they shared an article that deeply resonated with you, and they shared a tip which really helped you to overcome a challenge in your life. So just be very specific about how they helped you, why they influenced you, and be very concise about what you want them to do, that you want to invite them to your podcast, and that you would be able to give them more details if they're interested. These are the 3 tips that I would give you to make sure that you can invite influential guests on your podcast. The core value over here is to believe in yourself and to be absolutely confident when you have these interactions with other people, because most of the times you're going to get rejections, you're going to get people who are going to undervalue your time, and that's okay, because if they are not a fit for your podcast, you don't want them anyway. So just be very concise, very respectful of the other person's time. Talk from your audience's standpoint rather than making it very selfish or personal. Talk about how you can offer to help. So the give quotient again has to be greater than the take quotient. And I think with these tips, you are absolutely good to make sure that you can invite any guest that you want on your podcast. Hopefully this helps you. If you want me to make more such videos on the topics that you like, let me know in the comments below if there's any such topic that you want me to make a video on, because I absolutely love pausing from my walks and making these videos. See you again, and thank you for following my feed.